In the Gospel of John, we get a short epilogue, the conclusion of the Gospel. Now, this launches us into the next phase of the church and our mission today. In John chapter 21, it begins with the disciples fishing out in the lake, and they saw a figure off in the distance who told them to cast their nets on the other side of the boat. Even though they hadn't caught anything all day, they give it a try. Miraculously, on the other side of the boat, they caught an immeasurable amount of fish. This is a flashback moment for the disciples when they first met Jesus early on as fishermen. At that moment, they recognized that it was Jesus and went to meet him on the shore. This is what happens following in John chapter 21, verse 12 to 17. "Now come and have breakfast," Jesus said. None of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Then Jesus served them with bread and the fish. This was the third time Jesus had appeared to his disciples since he had been raised from the dead. After breakfast, Jesus asked Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," Peter replied. "You know I love you." "Then feed my lambs," Jesus told him. Jesus repeated the question, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," Peter said. "You know I love you." "Then take care of my sheep," Jesus said. A third time he asked him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt that Jesus asked the question a third time. He said, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Then feed my sheep." There are a lot of little pictures that happen in this story. First, notice Jesus is having breakfast with his disciples. Now, we all know that breakfast starts the day at the beginning. In the same way, the disciples are just beginning their ministry of sharing the message of Jesus. Next, note that Jesus feeds the disciples bread and fish, calling back to when Jesus fed the great multitude with a simple lunch. In the same way, these few disciples would be the method to spread the gospel to great multitudes, to all nations. But finally, we have Jesus asking Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?" Peter declares his love for Jesus each time, and Jesus follows it with the command to feed my sheep. Now, it might seem curious to why Jesus would ask this question repeatedly, but perhaps Jesus was redeeming Peter for the earlier account during Jesus' trial before his crucifixion of denying him 3 times. Even flawed, Peter is given the charge to lead the disciples to the ministry of spreading the message of Jesus.